Hello and welcome back to Stomp City and another episode of ECW Lives on TEW 2016, and today it's time for the second last episode of the series where we're going to be bringing you 4 shows. We've got 3 episodes of Revolt and the final chapter pay-per-view, which will be the beginning of the end of ECW Lives. It's going to be one of my favourite episodes so far. We've got a lot planned and this pay-per-view is going to be huge and sets up the final show, the biggest show of the year, the thing that we've been building towards, ECW Global Glory. So this episode will have a big effect on how that show will look heading towards the series finale. And the finale will be 5 episodes of Revolt and then the Global Glory pay-per-view all in one, so another bumper episode. And also with the TEW 2020 demo coming out on Tuesday, and with the demo you can only play saves or databases that start in January, and we're at the end of December. By the end of this episode we're going to be at December week 3. So potentially, if you want to see it, I could convert the save to TEW 2020 and record it on that game, just as a nice way to end the series. So let me know in the comments, TEW 2016 or TEW 2020. Make sure you're subscribed as well for all the other TEW 2020 content that's coming this week. And we have signed 5 wrestlers from WWF that are set to debut after the end of this month, so that'll be in the next episode. 2 are from OVW and 3 are from the main roster, 2 of which have already been seen in ECW in the past in real life before we started the save, so it should be interesting, so make sure you stick around for that. I'm very excited for it, but I won't reveal who it is until they show up, just to keep it a bit of a cliffhanger. But yeah, let's get into the episode and the first show of the episode, ECW Revolt. Starting with a dark match between Thunderstorm taking on Kabiri, and the winners here are Jushin Liger and the Hurricane after Liger gets a pin over Tajiri after a Liger bomb. Jushin Liger carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, which is good to see again. 72 from him, so actually quite high. Hurricane only on 53. 63C, so not too bad to start the show and get the crowd going before we go into the TV. Hurricane is improving in technical skills, Tajiri improving in rumble skills. But yeah, nice little dark match there, and just to get some more experience there for Thunderstorm as we head towards their title match against the Dangerous Alliance, of course. And then we go into the final dark match of the show, where we're going to see Minoru Tanaka take on Jay Briscoe. And in this one, Minoru Tanaka has defeated him in 10 minutes 27 by pinfall with a roundhouse kick. And it's a really good match actually. 79B could have easily made Revolt, but I just want to keep him off TV just for a little bit. He will be showing up soon, but yeah, he just lost that big match against Shinsuke, so we're just keeping him fresh, and he will be returning over the next few weeks. Minoru Tanaka had an in-ring performance of 89 and Jay Briscoe had an in-ring performance of 53, so Tanaka absolutely killing it there, nearly a 90 for him, and yeah, great performance once again from the main man. And Jay Briscoe is improving in performance skills as well, which is good. And yeah, as I say, 79B to take us into the main show, where we start with a video hyping tonight's show, and we are going to see the undisputed junior heavyweight champion AJ Styles take on technical expert Lance Storm in tonight's main event. And Styles has said that he has something to say to Bryan Danielson, and will the American Dragon show up tonight? And CM Punk will be defending his ECW TV title against the high flyer Dragon Kid in their first ever encounter, which should be a good match. And we've also got the Dangerous Machine, of course part of the Dangerous Alliance, Ken Shamrock and Samoa Joe taking on the Tag Team Masters, which is a team that honed their craft together in Japan, which is made of Shuji Kondo and Takeshi Morishima. But first, we've got Goldberg taking on ECW Hall of Famer Sabu. And how will Goldberg respond to Shinsuke Nakamura's challenge? Of course, at the end of Revolt last week, Shinsuke stood at the top of the ramp and signalled that he wanted a match with Goldberg for his title. We should be hearing from Paul Heyman and Goldberg on that later on tonight. So yeah, 73B- for this opening video, not too bad. And then we go into the match, which has got the exact same rating, 73B-. to start the main show, and in an exceptional match, Goldberg has defeated Sabu in 5 minutes 46 by pinfall with a jackhammer, so a quick win there. Bill Goldberg there on a 97 after they showed great chemistry, and Sabu there with a 61 as well. So what a performance from Goldberg tonight. One of the highest performances we've seen so far in the series, easily. But yeah, 73 B-, good result. Maybe could have been a little bit more, but I'll take it. It probably would have been had it not been 5 minutes or 6 minutes. But yeah, great match to start the show, as I say. And then we go to after the match, where Paul Heyman rolls into the ring with a microphone as Goldberg seems to be raging. And obviously he's feeling, and Heyman goes to speak, but Goldberg grabs the mic out of his hand and he says, "Nakamura, final chapter, you're next." And Goldberg throws the microphone to the ground as he stares into the camera, and Goldberg looks fired up. So maybe he's a little bit excited for this challenge to take on Shinsuke Nakamura. Of course, he's on a bit of a streak at the minute, and Goldberg looks ready for the fight, and it seems to be relishing the challenge. And yeah, 89A there, which is a great segment, boosting Shinsuke Nakamura's popularity as he was mentioned in the segment, which is good. And yeah, 89A. So yeah, it looks like the match is on for the title. Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Bill Goldberg at ECW Final Chapter in the main event, and the winner of that will headline Global Glory. And yeah, Goldberg looked good. Paul Heyman underperformed, which is a shame. We've still got a great rating though, so that's not too bad. And Goldberg is developing better performance skills. And then we cut to a dark room as we see the back of a dark figure staring into the mirror. And running water can be heard as the man appears to be washing his face in the sink. And he looks up to the mirror, but his face is hidden from the view of the camera. So a bit of a mysterious, dark vignette here. And yeah, it seems like someone's washing their face in the sink. What could it mean? We will find out very soon. 83 B+ for that one, so another good segment as we go forward. And this time we go into the TV title match where CM Punk, the TV champion, will be defending against Dragon Kid. And in 22 minutes 25, by submission with an Anaconda Vice, CM Punk makes defense number 2 of his ECW TV title. And of course, last week Punk said that he's going to defend the title every week, representing ECW with that belt and showing that he is the fighting champion. He's done it once again tonight. 79B, as I say. And Punk got 82, which is good. Dragon Kid got a 55. Dragon Kid improving in performance skills as well, which is good to see. And yeah, solid hand, Dragon Kid. But yeah, Punk carrying the rating up there into a B, which is good to see. Just to note as well, we're back in Georgia tonight, hence AJ Styles main eventing. And yeah, we're just spending this month here. We seem to be getting good ratings in Georgia in the southeast region. And yeah, we're here again in the Forbes Arena in Atlanta. Of course, Atlanta, the home of WCW. And since they're gone, we're sort of going into their territory. And yeah, building up a bit of a reputation in the southeast. And yeah, filling that gap left behind from the now dead promotion. A good match though, as we go forward into the tag team match this time between the Dangerous Machine and the Tag Team Masters. And in this one, the Dangerous Machine have won this non-title match in 12 minutes 30 when Samoa Joe defeated Shuji Kondo by submission with a Dragon Sleeper. And yeah, Joe and Shamrock getting excellent chemistry once again. And apparently Kondo and Morishima don't work well as a team. I'm not sure why though, because they've got loads of experience. But yeah, I don't know. The performance of Samoa Joe stood out as being good. 92 from Shamrock, 96 from Samoa Joe, 52 from Morishima. Perhaps those two would have got a better rating had they had chemistry. That's a shame to see because they do have a lot of experience. It's in like the 50s, I think. Ken Shamrock is improving in performance skills. Joe improving in technical and performance as well. So yeah, 74 B- with the Dangerous Machine carrying the rating up a little bit there into a solid match. But we do go now to after the match where Shamrock and Joe celebrate in the ring with Paul Heyman, but the lights turn green as a video plays on the big screen, and it's the Hurricane and Jushin Liger on top of a skyscraper in New York City, of course, the main base for the series so far. And yeah, they're overlooking the city, and the Hurricane says, "Dangerous Alliance." The Hurricane and the great Jushin Thunder Liger have joined forces as ECW's last hope of the tag team division. And at ECW Final Chapter, your reign will end and justice will be served. Thunderstorm ready. Both men pose as the camera cuts back to the Dangerous Alliance, laughing at what they deem to be an easy matchup. And yeah, they're not taking these two seriously. A bit of a comedy team in the middle of the show there to take a bit of the edge off the more serious stuff. And 72B-, so actually a good promo there. But yeah, we head now into the main event where AJ Styles is taking on Lance Storm. And this match is going down because Lance Storm has sort of gone head-to-head with Bryan Danielson quite a lot recently. And they're very similar in style with their ground-based technical wrestling. And yeah, a bit of a test for AJ tonight to go up against someone very similar to Bryan. And you remember last week, Bryan Danielson went up against Heavy Metal, who has more of an aerial threat, similar to AJ Styles. So they're sort of going up against two people that are similar to each other. But tonight, obviously, AJ Styles gets the win by submission, interestingly. And yeah, trying to maybe outdo Bryan Danielson somewhat. And Lance Storm had an in-ring performance of 56, AJ with an 83. And yeah, 80B there in the main event. So that's actually a solid main event here in Georgia. AJ Styles once again getting a win in his home state. After the match, AJ Styles celebrates in the ring with his belt. And AJ gets a mic and he says, "Bryan, I respect what you can do in this ring, but now you've made this personal. So me and you, one-on-one at Final Chapter, but I want to make things a little bit more interesting. So let's make it a submission match. And I'll put my title on the line once again, and I'll make you regret the day you crossed AJ Styles." And then Danielson makes his way out onto the ramp, and then AJ starts to walk towards him, ready for a fight. But then Shawn Michaels walks out and stands between the two, trying to calm AJ down. And he says to AJ, "It's not the time, AJ. The match is on. Just wait for the pay-per-view." And Bryan Danielson and AJ Styles stare down, trash talking as the show comes to a close. But yeah, 83B+ there to end the show. And yeah, the rivalry here is heating up a little bit. And yeah, it's going to be a good match at the pay-per-view, hopefully. And a good way to end the show as we get an 81B overall, so I'll take it. So we have the rating in for tonight's show. We've got a 10.68, which is, I think, the first time we've broke into the 10s. And we've got 4.8 million viewers, which is up around 500,000 from last week. And yeah, the popularity of the company is building week after week. And yeah, solid show, I think. But yeah, let's get into the next episode of Revolt, as we start with a dark match. And we're basically testing out a load of teams here, just to see if we can bolster the tag team division heading towards the finale. We've got Dalip Singh, who is the Great Khali, signed to developmental. And I thought I'd sign him just, because he's massive. And there's not many giants in wrestling. So we're going to see if he turns into something good, potentially. He probably won't know, there's not really a lot of time. But yeah, we signed him anyway, and he's teaming with Dragon Kid. And we've also got TJ Wilson and Sean Spears teaming up. We've got Shark Boy teaming with Black Warrior, and Kenny Omega teaming with Jay Lethal. So yeah, a lot of developmental talent here other than Black Warrior and Dragon Kid. So it's a chance for some people to stand out as well, potentially as singles wrestlers, depending on their in-ring performance. We've also got another 4-way tag match coming up in another dark match, so that'll be interesting as well. So the standouts, of course, Dragon Kid, who's on the main roster, and Black Warrior, who's also on the main roster. Kid with 67, Black Warrior with 55. In terms of developmental, Dalip Singh with 12, so it doesn't look like he's going to get anywhere anytime soon. And Jay Lethal, the best of the lot, with 34, and TJ Wilson and Shark Boy on 32. But I'm not sure that's quite good enough for the main roster. So I think for now these will stay down in CZW while they work on their craft. But yeah, 48D+ to start off the dark matches. And then we go to another one, as I say. 4 more teams. We've got Abyss and Delirious taking on Brian Kendrick and Paul London, Jack Evans and Amazing Red, and Austin Aries and Kaz Hayashi. So yeah, another interesting set of teams. But there's, out of 2 matches with 8 teams, there's been no chemistry found, which is a shame. In terms of in-ring performance though, Paul London, the best of the lot on 59, so potentially he could move up to the main roster straight away. Delirious with a 55, so not too bad. And yeah, much better performances all round in this one. Kaz Hayashi, who just re-signed and is on the main roster. Amazing Red with a 54. So yeah, good stuff all round actually. Abyss with a 52. But yeah, as I say, man of the match, Paul London. And I think we could call him up. And I think that's what we're going to do after this show. And we've got 59C overall, which is not too bad. And we're going to go into the main show now. And we open with a video hyping tonight's show. And tonight, Shinsuke Nakamura and Goldberg will meet face to face in the middle of the ring as they sign their contract for the huge ECW Championship match at Final Chapter, which we'll see later on today. We've got Bryan Danielson taking on AJ Styles' former tag team partner Prince Devitt as he heads in to his undisputed junior heavyweight title match against the Phenomenal One. And Shawn Michaels has a big announcement to make concerning the Final Chapter pay-per-view. CM Punk tonight will defend his ECW TV title against the returning Vampiro, and in our main event, Minoru Tanaka will take on Naomichi Marufuji in what should be a great matchup. But first, Thunderstorm take on the Kings of Wrestling as they look to refine their tag team chemistry heading into their tag team title match at Final Chapter. And this got a C-58, so not the best, but again, it's only a video package. And we go into the opening match, as we just said. We've got Thunderstorm taking on the Kings of Wrestling. And of course, with the win, the Hurricane and Jushin Liger defeat Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli after the Hurricane has pinned Chris Hero with a roll-up. And Jushin Liger was again head and shoulders above everyone else with a 73, so solid from him. 60 for the Hurricane, 42 for Claudio, and Chris Hero with a 44. So yeah, again, not the best match or the best rating, but hopefully things start to pick up and boost that rating a bit later on. 62C isn't too bad, but hopefully things get better. And then we go after the match where Jushin Liger and the Hurricanes celebrate their victory, but Paul Heyman, Samoa Joe and Ken Shamrock walk out onto the entranceway clapping their hands. And Heyman says, "Wow, what a performance. That was truly super. But these good times won't last, and at Final Chapter, the hopes of you and all these people will be squashed by the Dangerous Machine, and Samoa Joe will choke you out, and Ken Shamrock will snap your ankles." And that's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. And Joe and Shamrock act like they're about to rush the ring, and Thunderstorm stand ready for the attack. But Joe and Shamrock back off, laughing at how they made them jump. And the Dangerous Alliance leave the arena as Jushin Liger and Hurricane compose themselves. So it looks like they're a little bit scared of the Dangerous Alliance after reality was about to strike and they were about to seemingly get attacked by the Dangerous Machine, but they've backed off and maybe just putting a little bit of fear into them. As I say, next week after another episode of Revolt, it will be the pay-per-view, and it should be a half-decent match, especially if Jushin Liger pulls one out of the bag. We know that Joe and Ken Shamrock can perform and can get 90 ratings, so yeah, I'm expecting a good match from it. We've got 77B here for this, so a good promo. Much better than the previous ones, so hopefully that helps with the rating, as I say. But then we go to an even better segment, 83B+, where Shawn Michaels is backstage ready to make an announcement. And he says, "On behalf of the ECW committee, I'm here to announce that the undisputed Junior Heavyweight Championship match between AJ Styles and Bryan Danielson has been altered. As well as being contested under submission rules, there will now be a special guest referee, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels." And Shawn holds up a referee shirt as the segment comes to a close. So things are heating up in the story between AJ Styles, Shawn Michaels and Bryan Danielson, with the special guest referee being named. And yeah, of course, Shawn Michaels, former trainer of Bryan Danielson, and has been trying to calm him down recently from his heelish ways. And yeah, he wants to take control of the match. And yeah, it should be interesting to see how this goes. And then we go into the TV title match where CM Punk has defended his ECW TV title successfully against a returning Vampiro in 13 minutes 54 by submission with an Anaconda Vice. And CM Punk makes defense number 3 of his ECW world title. And yeah, good rating, 81B here. Not much to say really, just another defense for Punk. He says that the title is going to be defended every week, and that continues. CM Punk had an in-ring performance of 79-71 for Vampiro, and the fighting champion has fought once again and retained his title. And yeah, good match as we head towards the main event, but we do have a segment first as AJ Styles confronts Shawn Michaels backstage to discuss the stipulation for the match at Final Chapter. And AJ says, "Hey Shawn, I just want to let you know that you better call this thing down the middle. And I know about your history with Bryan, and I know that when he kicked Dusty Rhodes and Harley Race in the head, he didn't hit you. And I don't know why you inserted yourself into this match, but it better not be what I'm thinking." And then Sean says, "Don't worry, AJ. I have all the respect in the world for both of you, and I just want to see a clean, fair fight. May the best man win." And Sean walks off as Styles still looks unsure. So, yeah, Styles is a bit wary about Shawn Michaels and his past with Bryan, but Shawn Michaels has assured him that there's nothing to worry about. And a good segment, ATB. So, yeah, the ratings did start to get better in the end, and hopefully we'll get a B or maybe even a B+. We'll see how it goes. And Bryan Danielson is now taking on AJ Styles' former tag team partner and friend, Prince Devitt. And Bryan Danielson has picked up the win in 12 minutes 22 by submission with a cross-face chicken wing, and setting an example to AJ Styles for what might be to come with a submission victory at a final chapter. And 75 B-, and the match got the crowd buzzing. Bryan Danielson with a 69, so slightly lower than last week. I think he was in 73 or something like that. And Prince Devitt got an in-ring performance of 63. But yeah, 75 B-, as I say, is a good match. And yeah, I think we've got the main event next. And next up we go into the main event, where it's going to be Minoru Tanaka taking on Naomichi Marufuji. And this match is going down just because I know they've got good chemistry, and just to put a good match on for Minoru, who gets the win today in 30 minutes 43 by pinfall with a roundhouse kick. And yeah, as I say, pretty good chemistry, and it lifted the match. Minoru Tanaka with a 91, which is good to see, and Marufuji with a 61. And we've ended up with an ATB in the main event, so not too bad. And of course, we've still got the contract signing to come, so there's still more to this show, and I'm expecting a big rating on that. But first, we cut to a pre-taped video. The camera is zoomed in on a man's chest who is wearing a shirt and suit jacket. He puts on a tie and picks up a briefcase and walks out of the room, and their face is still a mystery. So who is this man in a dark room? He's been washing his face, now he's put a tie on, so he's getting ready for something. And yeah, looking smart, but we still don't know who it is. And 82B, but we will find out pretty soon. And it looks like he could be on his way to make an appearance on ECW Revolt pretty soon. And yeah, he's going to look sharp for it, so it's good. And then we go to the contract signing between Goldberg and Shinsuke Nakamura, as we cut back to the arena where there is a table set up in the ring. And then Goldberg and Heyman make their way down to the ring, as Goldberg picks up the contract and signs it before Shinsuke can even make his entrance. He flips the table over and throws the chairs out of the ring and lays the contract at his feet. It seems like he's ready for Shinsuke and is well up for it. Shinsuke Nakamura's music hits as he makes his way to the ring. He stands in front of Goldberg, but Paul Heyman goes to speak, but Nakamura grabs the microphone out of his hand, and Nakamura speaks for the first time, and he says, "No, you're next." And he picks up the contract and signs it. So if you remember last week, Goldberg did something similar to Heyman. He grabbed the mic off him and said, "Shinsuke, you're next." And this week, keeping it simple, it's Goldberg and Shinsuke, who has been a silent assassin so far, but he has spoke for the first time tonight. So yeah, he signed the contract, but right after he does, Goldberg runs in and hits a huge spear, laying Nakamura out, and he and Heyman laugh. And this is the first time we've seen Nakamura showing a weakness, and that spear has really hurt him. And Heyman and Goldberg leave the ring as Nakamura slowly gets to his feet using the ropes, and the show comes to a close as Goldberg shouts trash talk at Nakamura, and Nakamura looks angry. So it is heating up. The first contact between the two, and yeah, the first time we've seen Nakamura really in danger. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the match goes. Shinsuke has been presented so far as someone that can take opponents out very fast, and Goldberg, of course, is known for the same things. So don't expect a 30-minute psychology-filled performance from these two. It's going to be a slobber knocker, as they say. We've ended the show, though, with a 92A, and apparently Goldberg was good in this segment. Heyman performed poorly again, but still a good rating. And we go now to see what the rating is. And we've got an 83B+, so just on the brink of the B+ there. I'm happy with that, I'll take it. And we have increased our popularity in 18 regions. And the show got a 10.77, which is 4.8 million viewers, so that's a little bit better than last week, which is good to see. But let's get straight into the next episode of ECW Revolt as we go into the Go Home show for final chapter. And we start with a dark match, and we're going to see Delirious once again after impressing last week, and he takes on Prince Devitt as Prince Devitt gets the win in 10 minutes 13 by pinfall with a Bloody Sunday. The 60C, so not bad. Delirious with a 49, Prince Devitt with a 60. So standard mid-card match, I guess. Not the best, and not really good enough for Revolt, I would say. But yeah, another decent performance from Delirious and Prince Devitt doing alright. And then we go into another dark match, and again testing two more teams. I think we've seen Low-Ki and Kenta team together before, but we're debuting the team of Kaz Hayashi and Taka Michinoku, and again just to see if we can find any fresh good chemistry, and it doesn't seem to be the case. But however, Taka Michinoku was pinned Low-Ki after a Michinoku driver in 15 minutes 14 as he gets a 59, so not bad. 53 for Kaz Hayashi, Kenta with a 57 and 49 for Low-Ki. Low-Ki was off his game, but Reina did some good work at ringside. Of course, Sable, who is Low-Ki's manager. And yeah, I don't know whether we'll see these teams again, but again, just experimenting to see if I can find anything there. But we go into the main show now with a video package hyping tonight's show. And in our main event, all three members of the Dangerous Alliance will be teaming up in a 6-man tag match against the team of Thunderstorm and Shinsuke Nakamura. So it's going to be the tag team title match at the weekend and the ECW title match merging into one for tonight. And this will be the first time the Dangerous Alliance have teamed as a three or as a trio on Revolt. They've done it once on 0-1, but this is the first time they've done it on ECW, so should be good, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they get on as a trio. And also, Minoru Tanaka looks to continue his recent redemption story after his recent big losses against Goldberg and Shinsuke Nakamura, and he takes on Brian Kendrick of Raven's Nest. And interesting to note that the last time these two men went one-on-one, Brian Kendrick actually won. And that was in about May, I think, around the time of Brian Kendrick's initial debut, where he went on a bit of a main event streak. And then CM Punk defends his ECW TV Championship against a debuting third generation wrestler. Now, who could that be? We will see a bit later on. And this is one of the signings that I was talking about earlier. So, exciting things about to come. But first, AJ Styles takes on another debuting superstar, Paul London, as he gets ready for his big championship defense this weekend against Bryan Danielson. So we're giving Paul London a chance tonight after impressing on the dark matches last week. And this video got a 71C+, so let's see how they get on. And pretty good match. ATB there to start the show. AJ Styles defeating Paul London, of course, in 13 minutes 43 by submission, again with a calf killer. And AJ looking to show that he does have what it takes to win the submission match at the weekend against Bryan Danielson, and showing off the calf killer for the first time. Paul London debuted his show stealer gimmick, got above average, 88 for AJ, killing it once again, and Paul London with a 61, so pretty good. And ATB overall, as I say, solid way to start the show. Hopefully things get even better. And after the match, the big screen shows Bryan Danielson and Shawn Michaels sitting together backstage, discussing the match at the weekend, it would seem, but no sound can be heard as AJ Styles looks furious in the ring. So again, suspicions high for AJ Styles. He thinks that there's something going on between Bryan and Shawn after their history and after the recent actions of Bryan Danielson refusing to hit Michaels. And for some reason, Shawn Michaels has put himself in the match as a special referee. So yeah, tonight has continued those suspicions for AJ, as I say, and we will see how that plays out at the weekend. But 77B overall, and Bryan Danielson was very underwhelming apparently, but I don't mind because it's got a good rating anyway. But yeah, let's head into the next match where we see a debuting Randy Orton taking on CM Punk. So signed from OVW, yet to debut on the WWE main roster, Randy Orton. So this is the first time anyone's really ever seen him, and he's taken on CM Punk for tonight's ECW TV title match. Commentators are going to build up third generation and future star of the business, but tonight he couldn't quite pull it off on his debut match against CM Punk. After 13 minutes 36, CM Punk gets the win with a go to sleep as he makes defense number 4 already of the ECW World Television title, and he's defended it on every single show since the pay-per-view that he won it at against Raven. And yeah, solid match for Randy Orton's debut. 78B should be a big shot in the arm for his popularity early on. I don't think he's quite ready for the win, of course, with that 45. 82 for Punk, boosting the rating up. apparently got an awful for his gimmick, but we're not judged on gimmicks anyway, so that's fine. But either way, a big debut for Randy Orton there, and a young Randy Orton is certainly a diamond in the rough and someone that can be moulded into a future star. And he is also a next big thing on Creative Meetings, so maybe big things to come for Randy. And after the match, CM Punk celebrates with his ECW TV title. Randy Orton gets to his feet as CM Punk offers him a handshake. Orton accepts, with CM Punk rolling out of the ring, leaving the crowd to applaud Orton for his efforts tonight. And this kid has a big future here in ECW, so maybe something that we're not going to see play out, but yeah, good. We're leaving the company in a good place towards the end of this series. We've got plenty of future stars, and maybe one day we will play it, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're just going to leave it here in TEW 2016, as difficult as that choice is. But 64C for this tonight, as CM Punk gets the win. And our next match, a part of Minoru Tanaka's redemption as he looks to continue his recent winning ways after his 2 disappointing defeats. He has beat Brian Kendrick in 15 minutes 20 by pinfall with a roundhouse kick, and 81B overall, Tanaka with an 89, and Brian Kendrick with a 58, so not too great. I'm sure he used to get higher than that, but for whatever reason he's dropped down a little bit. Solid match. Minoru Tanaka gets another win on his record, and the mystery man is shown once again, and he is now seen going into an elevator, then exiting an apartment complex. And he is shown getting into a limo, still carrying the briefcase that he picked up last week. There's still questions about who this person is. It's someone that gets high ratings, but we should find out at the pay-per-view who this is, which we will see later on today. But yeah, 84B plus as we head into the main event. And of course, the Dangerous Alliance taking on Shinsuke Nakamura and Thunderstorm. And after a great match with a rating 84B+, Shinsuke Nakamura and Thunderstorm have defeated the Dangerous Alliance in 12 minutes 34 when Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Samoa Joe by pinfall. And yeah, huge win for the challengers in the title matches this weekend. Shinsuke, of course, going for the ECW title, Thunderstorm going for the tag titles. And yeah, Shinsuke has pinned Dangerous Alliance member Samoa Joe tonight. And yeah, Ken Shamrock with an 84, Samoa Joe with an 87, Goldberg with an 89. So good performances all round from the Dangerous Alliance. No sign of chemistry tonight. I don't know whether that's just because it's a 6-man tag, but we do normally get the chemistry between Joe and Shamrock, of course. Hurricane with a 64, Liger with a 77, and Nakamura with a 66. The Hurricane is improving in technical skills, Goldberg improving in technical, and Samoa Joe improving in performance. But yeah, as I say, big win for the challengers and getting some momentum going into their title shots this weekend. And a big win all round. And then after the match, Ken Shamrock and Goldberg climb into the ring and begin to attack Shinsuke Nakamura, who just pinned Samoa Joe. But Thunderstorm both climb a turnbuckle and fly in with drop kicks to both men, knocking them both down. Goldberg gets back up, but is struck with a huge knee to the face from Shinsuke Nakamura as Goldberg rolls out of the ring. Samoa Joe and Ken Shamrock get to their feet as Thunderstorm clothesline them out of the ring over the top rope. And then the Dangerous Alliance regroup on the ramp as Paul Heyman talks them out of going back into the ring, and they make their way to the back as Thunderstorm and Shinsuke Nakamura celebrate what is a huge victory. A fantastic performance from Goldberg, apparently. The Hurricane performed poorly in this segment and Nakamura performed poorly as well. Only a 68C+. I was expecting a little bit more, but maybe the Hurricane, Nakamura, and potentially Liger have brought the rating down a little bit here. But yeah, we go into the pay-per-view with 2 big title matches, and it looks like the ball might be in the court of Nakamura, the Hurricane, and Jushin Liger. But yeah, after this one, we've got an 80B, and ECW Revolt got a 10.69 this week, which is slightly lower than last week, but still 4.8, just a little bit below, but that's fine. But yeah, with that said, we may as well just get into the pay-per-view then. And so far we have 4 matches confirmed. We will be seeing 5 overall, but I'll talk about the 5th one a bit later on. Dangerous Machine, Shamrock and Samoa Joe taking on the Hurricane and Jushin Liger, of course, Thunderstorm. We're going to see CM Punk defend his ECW TV title against an unnamed opponent. We're going to see the Undisputed Junior Heavyweight Championship on the line as AJ Styles defends against Bryan Danielson with Shawn Michaels as the special guest referee. And how will he call that match? Is he going to call it down the middle? AJ Styles isn't sure. And we're going to see in the main event to decide who will headline ECW Global Glory, the final show of the series. Will it be Goldberg, the ECW champion, or will it be the challenger and a man that is in the form of his life, Shinsuke Nakamura, the super rookie? And we're going to see right now. So we start with a dark match, and tonight it's going to be Alex Shelley taking on Claudio Castagnoli to get the crowd going. And normally both of these are part of a tag team. Of course, Shelley teaming with Chris Sabin and Claudio Castagnoli teaming with Chris Hero. And tonight their partners are involved in a battle royal representing their team. And I'll talk about that battle royal a little bit later on. But for now, Shelley gets a win over Claudio Castagnoli in 10 minutes 02. And this got a 49D plus, 45 for Shelley and 44 for Claudio. And again, we go into another dark match, and it's going to be Mark Briscoe going one-on-one against Shuji Kondo. Mark Briscoe normally teaming with Jay, but Jay is in that battle royal that I was talking about, representing that team. So he's in the dark match tonight. And 57C minus overall as Mark Briscoe defeats Shuji Kondo in 10 minutes 22. Mark Briscoe actually doing quite well with a 54, Shuji Kondo with a 48. And not a bad dark match there with 57C minus. And now we're heading to the show itself, which is, of course, ECW final chapter, as we head into the final chapter of the series. And this is the last pay-per-view before Global Glory, which will be our last show. And we start the show with the mystery man being shown walking into a dark office. And he sits at a table as somebody slides a contract in front of him. And he has a quick glance through it and signs it and walks out. And as he walks out of the room, he heads towards the camera. And as he gets closer to the camera, it becomes more obvious who the man is. It's Sting. Suited up, wearing no face paint, Sting holds a briefcase up to the camera, smiles, then walks away. And this Friday, ECW Revolt flashes up on the screen. So we're going to hear from Sting this weekend. Perhaps a new persona for the Stinger. He's wearing a suit, he's got no face paint, and he's going to be showing up on the next episode of Revolt. And speaking of Sting, he's the current GPWC heavyweight champion. And tonight we're going to see a battle royal to decide his number one contender for Global Glory. So a big night. He's signed his contract with ECW and he's going to be showing up this Friday. And 85B plus, and yeah, the man has been revealed and we see a new Sting. And then we go into the tag team title match with the Dangerous Machine taking on Thunderstorm. And in a surprising underdog victory, the Dangerous Machine have lost the ECW tag titles when Jushin Liger rolled up Samoa Joe in a surprise cradle, and Thunderstorm win the ECW World Tag Team titles. And yeah, surprising one. This wasn't the original plan, but I've decided that Samoa Joe and Ken Shamrock are better off heading into Global Glory, and I've got a match sorted out for them, and that is related to the recent signings that I was talking about earlier. And there's someone coming in that is the perfect opponent for one of them. A little bit of a clue. I don't know whether you'll be able to work it out from that. Big win for the new team of Thunderstorm, and they're the new tag team champions. Ken Shamrock with an 82, Joe with an 89, Jushin Liger with a 63, and 60 for the Hurricane. So it seems the Hurricane is improving, and Samoa Joe and Shamrock had excellent chemistry once again. Ken Shamrock seemed off his game though, which is a shame, which explains why he only got an 82. But Shamrock and Joe were both improving. Shamrock in rumble skills and Joe in performance. And overall 68C plus, not the best rating, but this will make sense as we go forward. But before we get past this match, Thunderstorm get out of the ring and rush to grab their new belts. What a huge win for this newly formed team. And they celebrate as they make their way to the back, and the underdogs have done it. And Samoa Joe and Ken Shamrock go face to face in the ring, clearly unhappy with how the last two shows have gone. Of course, Joe was pinned on Revolt and Shamrock was pinned tonight, and they seem to be blaming each other, but Heyman climbs into the ring to calm them down, and they both hold back their anger and exit the arena. So friction there in the Dangerous Alliance, but they've kept it together and have left together as well. And 70C plus there as we head into the next match, which is the GPWC Battle Royal. And I'm just going to run through the competitors in this one. There is 30 competitors altogether, and interestingly, 3 women in the match. We've got Aja Kong, Bull Nakano, and Manami Toyota all in the match. Of course, Manami Toyota making a name for herself recently, going up against AJ Styles for the Undisputed Junior Heavyweight title. Bull Nakano, one of these signings from All Japan Women when we took them over, and so is Aja Kong. Of course, Aja Kong, a monster in the Joshi scene. As well as those 3, we've got Austin Aries, Black Warrior, Brian Kendrick, Chris Hero, Chris Sabin, Colt Cabana, Dragon Kid, Great Sasuke, Heavy Metal, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Jay Briscoe, Yun Akiyama, Kaz Hayashi, Kenta, Lance Storm, Low Ki, Minoru Tanaka, Naomichi Marufuji, a recently debuted Paul London, Prince Devitt, a recently debuted Randy Orton, Raven, Sabu, Tajiri, Taka Michinoku, Takeshi Morishima, and finally a returning Tommy Dreamer. And coming out with the victory and taking on Sting for the GPWC Heavyweight Championship at Global Glory is Minoru Tanaka. And in 29 minutes 45, he has picked up the win after eliminating runner-up Yun Akiyama, and the other members of the Final 4 were Bull Nakano and Randy Orton. So Bull Nakano making it all the way to the end there, and so is the recently debuted Orton. Minoru also got the most eliminations over the course of the match, so big night for him, and he will take on Sting. And Paul London was off his game apparently, but Minoru Tanaka looked excellent out there. What a guy. 77B, and out on top is the new number 1 contender for the GPWC World Heavyweight title, Minoru Tanaka, and the redemption story continues. And yes, 77B, solid battle royal there, as we head into the next match where CM Punk is defending his ECW World Television Championship against the debuting Shelton Benjamin, another signing from OVW. So we've got the 2 OVW signings confirmed in this episode. They seem to be available before the WWE guys, but we've got Shelton Benjamin and Randy Orton, of course, joining the roster from WWE's Developmental. And 3 more signings to be revealed very soon. But for now, CM Punk has defeated Shelton Benjamin on Benjamin's debut in 30 minutes 44 by pinfall with a go to sleep. CM Punk makes defense number 5 of his ECW TV title. Apparently Punk was off his game tonight, which is a shame. I think I would have rather had Shelton Benjamin challenge Punk on Revolt and then have Randy Orton in this match, but Shelton wasn't available, so I just flipped it round. But that was the original plan. But yeah, Shelton got a 37, so not great. Maybe he could move down to developmental for a little bit, but he is improving in performance skills, and maybe he'll do a little bit better after tonight's exposure on the pay-per-view. But CM Punk had an in-ring performance of 69, so again, not the best from him. He was off his game though. And 69C+. I was expecting a little bit better, maybe a B-, but I'll take it. You're right on the verge of a B- there, so it's not too bad. But we do go forward into the Undisputed Junior Heavyweight Championship match, where it's going to be AJ Styles defending against Bryan Danielson with Shawn Michaels as special guest referee. And AJ has defeated Bryan Danielson in 29 minutes 01 by submission with a calf killer. So AJ's doubts over Shawn Michaels' allegiance to Bryan Danielson have been proven wrong, and Shawn Michaels has called it down the middle. AJ retains and makes defense number 5 of his Undisputed Junior Heavyweight title. AJ with a 78-68 for Bryan Danielson. Maybe a little bit underwhelming actually. They got an A last time, so I'm not sure why it's so low. We are in the Southeast in South Carolina. It looks like it's because AJ didn't like the technical based match, which is fine, that explains it. But AJ Styles has done it. What a match and what a champion. Against the odds, AJ Styles has defeated Bryan Danielson in a grueling submission match. And then Shawn Michaels gives AJ his belt and holds his hand in the air. AJ leaves the ring as Bryan begins to make his way back to his feet. And Bryan sees Michaels and is furious with him. And he says, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" And Bryan shoves Michaels as he continues to scream at him. And Michaels looks around smirks and hits Bryan with a sweet chin music. And Bryan drops to the floor. Michaels shrugs his shoulders and makes his way to the back. So Bryan Danielson finally put his hands on Shawn Michaels and he's returned the favour and kicked him in the face after all of Bryan Danielson's recent antics. They weren't aligned and the conspiracy theory has been proven wrong. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see where this goes now. Shawn Michaels getting involved in physical activity for the first time since his retirement and since signing for ECW. So maybe this could lead to something, but we will see. But yes, 93A for this one, so much better. And maybe if it wasn't a submission match, just a regular special guest referee, we might have got a little bit better of a rating there. But, you know, you live and learn. But in the main event for the ECW Championship, Goldberg taking on Shinsuke Nakamura, and the winner, and still ECW champion, and the man that looks currently unstoppable, Goldberg, has defeated Shinsuke Nakamura in 10 minutes 27 by pinfall with a jackhammer as Goldberg makes defense number 3 of his ECW World Heavyweight title. And apparently there's a lack of psychology, but sometimes that happens in Goldberg matches. There's not a lot you can do about it. Goldberg had an in-ring performance of 92, so carrying the rating up there to an 83B+, and Nakamura with a 67. So again, the storyline push for Nakamura has put him in this position, not necessarily his performance. We've booked him as an unstoppable machine, but tonight he has been stopped and the streak is over and Goldberg retains his ECW title. But the show isn't over just yet as we go to after the match. Heyman climbs into the ring. By the way, what is this? 100A star. After the match, Heyman climbs into the ring, handing Goldberg the ECW Championship belt. And his music plays as Goldberg holds it up in the air and Heyman screams, "Nobody can stop Goldberg." But then the music stops and Heyman says, "What's going on? Play his music." And the crowd slowly begins to be getting louder and louder and louder as a hooded man begins to make his way through the crowd. And he slides into the ring, signalling for Goldberg to turn around. And Goldberg and Heyman look around, wondering what all the fuss is about. Goldberg looks behind him and sees the man, and he goes to head towards him, but is hit with a huge gore. It's Rhino. Heyman quickly gets out of harm's way and escapes up the ramp as the roof blows off the arena, and Rhino takes down his hood and picks up the ECW Championship belt. He holds it up with one hand and he says, "This is mine." And Rhino lays the belt on Goldberg and heads back through the crowd. He is back. And a big, huge return for Rhino here at ECW Final Chapter. And has Goldberg finally met his match after his dominant title reign so far. 3 defenses, 3 wins. And what seemed to be Goldberg's biggest challenge in Shinsuke Nakamura, the man that has been built up to be an unstoppable machine, finally defeated by Goldberg, which has elevated Goldberg even more than he was before. But Rhino has returned to take back what he thinks is his. The championship that Heyman screwed him out of time after time has come back to take down the beast. And what a segment. A star. I don't know how that's happened, but 100A star, what a way to end the show. Rhino is here. And we get an 83B+, so I don't know, man. If we got a better match there for the Undisputed Junior Heavyweight title, we could be looking at NA here, but I'll completely take it. What a segment to end the show. And a big show tonight. We've got the new tag team champions, a bit of friction between Joe and Shamrock. The GPWC #1 contender has been named to take on the new Sting. Shawn Michaels getting involved in physical activity once again. Goldberg defeats the unstoppable Nakamura, but now Rhino has returned to ECW. And the reason I moved Rhino over to 0-1 for a bit is because I wanted to keep him fresh for when he returned. And yeah, I think that was the right call. I tried to keep him out of sight, out of mind. I have tried not to mention it, but he has since lost the 0-1 heavyweight title to Yun Akiyama, who has returned back over to 0-1, and they've swapped places once again. Yun Akiyama brings good ratings for that show, so they've flipped back. It was always the plan to bring Rhino back anyway, but yeah, Yokoyama's gone back the other way as the champion, and Rhino returns with one goal in mind, and that is to win the ECW Heavyweight Championship. And we're going to make a speech. We're going to praise Rhino, Tanaka, and I guess Goldberg, because he's done well. And we're going to say that it was a great performance all round, and make the speech, and they're pleased, very pleased, and pleased. And the pay-per-view buy rate is in. We've got a 0.72, which is just underneath November to Remember, but still really good. Second best buy rate we've ever had, and Global Glory should beat that and become number one. That's the plan anyway. We may only be seeing one more episode. I want to do 5 Revolts and then Global Glory all in one episode. And if you want to see me wait till TEW 2020 and run it there, let me know in the comments below. And that might be something we do, as since we can convert the save, and that could be a good way to start TEW 2020 and end ECW Lives. And also it's time to announce the venue for Global Glory 2003, and it will be held in Madison Square Garden. So if you're excited for that, make sure you drop a like down below and let me know what you think of this show in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the finale and also the upcoming TEW 2020 content that will be coming to the channel. But until next time, peace.